Welcome back, everyone. So Adam Schiff is taking over the Intelligence Committee, and he's already indicating he wants to start lots of investigations against Donald Trump. But also, the really worrying thing, as the Wall Street Journal pointed out in a really great editorial yesterday, was he wants to close down the investigations that have been started on the deep state corruption in the 2016 election. So they made the point that the declassification that President Trump nearly did. He said he would do it, and then it didn't happen. That needs to go ahead. And then they further made a point, which I really want your take on, Sarah, which is that, I'm just quoting from the Wall Street Journal here, Mr. Trump should revisit his decision, the decision to renege on the release of the documents, and help Mr. Nunes and House Republicans finish the job in the lame duck session of revealing the truth about the misuse of intelligence and the FISA court in the presidential
100%. The president needs to revisit this. He had made the decision to declassify both the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. That was the warrant against Carter Page. That's what the FBI sought to spy on him. The 302s, Bruce Orr's 302s, those are the interviews that the FBI conducted with Bruce Orr, and those are very detailed. And most importantly, Steve, most importantly is the Gang of Eight notebook, the Gang of Eight dossier, because according to the sources that I've spoken with, that really lays out the exculpatory evidence that was left out from the secret court. So the secret court was denied information. We already know that they weren't told about Hillary Clinton. It was a footnote. That the fact that she had paid for the dossier, right, through Fusion GPS. So Mark Elias, the same firm in Broward County, right, the same attorney, was behind. I know, it's crazy.
I know, they're everywhere.
Okay. It's like they're all
Can
over
I just
the
ask
place.
you just quickly, Sarah, do you know why he went back on the decision to release?
I think I do. There was a private meeting between, and this has happened quite often, Rod Rosenstein, and remember, this is before he found out, and all of us found out, that James Baker had said that Rod Rosenstein wanted to wear a wire on the president and record him and invoke the 25th Amendment, that's what he had heard from Andrew McCabe. What had happened was Rod Rosenstein went to the White House, and people at the DOJ began pushing back against the president vigorously, saying, look, if you release these documents, I mean, it's going to look like obstruction. You're going to hurt the Russia case that's going on right now. And then he had some calls, apparently. Apparently, there were calls from allies. Now, what I was told was that they just went directly to the Department of Justice. The allies called there. Rod Rosenstein warned the president, look, we've got Great Britain and Australia. They don't want you to...
That sounds like the deep state sort of fighting back.
Absolutely, because we know.
But he's got to. Do you think he will overturn it? Just very quickly.
I absolutely do. I think the president should, and I think he will.
I think that's what. Tammy, what's your take on all this?
Yeah, look, over the next 2 years is going to be the kind of rhetoric, lies versus transparency, and revealing records like this. It's going to be a series of Kavanaugh-type hearings. They're going to make things up. They're going to make false allegations. The American people won't like it. But in the meantime, you've got the politics of that. But the president's interest is, in fact, helping the country. And one of the things we've learned that we never would have known if anybody else had been elected is the kind of corruption at the FBI that was unfolding. And that wasn't new, that it had to have been of course, ongoing, and that it just simply became apparent to us. So part of his promise is to help us back up onto our feet, off of our knees, and declassifying those documents is going to be key to doing that because, look, it's the Department of Justice. And this is an argument for Trey Gowdy to be considered seriously, considering his knowledge of the investigations that have gone on in the House, for him to become Attorney General, because we've got to be able to continue this, because this is part of us getting up out of the hospital bed.
Very interesting. Thanks, Tammy. I'm sorry, not much time, Charlie. Quick.
The Senate, we still control the Senate. Why not, Senator Burr? It's all up to you. Why don't you do these investigations like the House did? You cannot let this die. There's so much corruption there, and as Sarah Carter's been following this hourly.
I know. Sarah's our expert. Thank you, Tammy. Great thought from Tammy on Trey Gowdy. And one last thing. If you want to know what Sarah's been doodling on a picture of Adam Schiff, which is terribly interesting, follow us on Twitter at @SteveHiltonX, @NextRevFNC. That's a real tease. Find out what she's been doodling. You'll enjoy it.